on the 18th, so 2 days ago, we had a big announcement. The Fed cut some interest rates, thankfully.
About time.
It is about time.
Yeah.
So let me pull up an article here on that. Boom. So as we know, or you may not know, everybody was really expecting the Fed to cut interest rates by 0.25%, and they really shocked everybody by dropping them to 0.5% down. So it was before interest rates were at 5.5%, I believe, and now they're at 5%. That really shocked. A lot of people think that they're doing that because everybody was expecting them to drop rates in June. Obviously they didn't, so I think that's why they really dropped them now to 5.5% to really catch up, and to we'll get into some of those metrics later, how that affects our economy and unemployment and all that. But I think that really was they're playing the catch-up game a little bit on there. Excuse me. But yeah, let's get into this article here. So the Dow Jones passed 42,000 for the first time following a substantial interest rate cut. The Dow Jones Industrial Average achieved a historic milestone, closing above 42,000 for the first time. This landmark event was catalyzed by the Federal Reserve's recent half-point interest rate cut, which was not only bolstered market confidence, but has also reinvigorated the economic landscape, making it a pivotal moment for investors and policymakers alike.
Yeah, I think that's really important too, because this is the first rate cut that they've had since pre-COVID. So I think over the last 4 years, they've only increased the rate.
Yeah.
And so reducing it back, I think, is really a vital and pivotal point. And then especially as it comes to inflation, I know one of the reasons why they said they wanted to reduce the rate or lower it was because inflation is going up, and they want to get back on the track of 2%, which is normally the standard, is what they try to target for inflation rates.
Yeah. I believe the last time that they cut interest rates was 2020.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a while.
That is.
It has been a while, and it's been increasing ever since then. So
what's interesting is if they would have just raised interest rates back in like 2011, when they should have started, in my opinion, they wouldn't run into this situation. But they had to aggressively raise them back up because inflation was going, rampant there for a while post-COVID.
Yeah, I think unfortunately the Fed likes to be a little bit more reactive than proactive.
Very much so.
So unfortunately, but fortunately, finally they reacted the correct way, and we got a nice interest rate cut, and they're actually expecting to keep cutting it.
Okay,
so,
I did not know that.
Yes.
I thought this was one and done.
No, so they're expecting another 0.5% interest rate cut by the end of 2025, I believe, actually.
Okay.
So we can actually go into my next, we'll look at the summary real quick here of economic events. Oh, sorry, I lost my mouse. So yeah, here we can see kind of their expected funds rate. So or all their expected metrics here. So inflation, they're expecting it to go down right now it's at 5%. They're expecting it to go down to 2.3% and then 2.1%.
Yeah, which is crazy too, because they exclude a bunch of things. When they talk about like CPI or core inflation, they're excluding like food, gas, housing costs, groceries, like all the important things in life. They just magically just take out of that.
Yep.
So it's probably actually a lot higher than that.
Yeah, and then unemployment will go up a little bit by 0.4%, up to 4.4% by the end of 2024. It'll probably stay around the same rate in 2025, and then hopefully in 2026 is when that'll start coming down, and we should see everything start to level out. And of course, by 2026, the Fed also hopes to reach their goal of 2.0 inflation, which is our, I think that's our sweet spot.
Well, that's what they're always targeting.
Yeah.
Ever since the Federal Reserve was founded, their target inflationary rate was 2%.
Yeah.
And so anytime it dips below or above that, they try to do what they need to do to get back to 2%.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of volatility after the announcement on Thursday. A lot of it was really funny. I pulled up some heat maps at the end of the day, and the market was everywhere. I mean, some stocks did very terribly, some stocks did really well. Currencies, some did really well, some did bad, and crypto. It's really interesting. I think how just our interest rate affects so many different assets across the world.
Well,
and
the
across all
world,
the
exactly. Like
industries.
everybody looks at the United States for what their country should be doing. Yeah, no, it's. I saw the same thing. It was a super mixed bag because people really don't know how to take it because everybody sort of agreed that they needed to lower interest rates because inflation, was starting to get a little out of control. But then what impact was that actually going to have on the market? And nobody really knew. So it was interesting to see Dow above 42,000. In my opinion, I think it's probably going to fall off from here. I think the Fed lowering interest rates is, even though they don't say this, is indicative that they're concerned about the growth of the economy and that they need to lower interest rates to get more money out there. And I think that will have a negative impact on the overall stock market, even though it went up. Long term, it should come off, in my opinion.
Another massive Bitcoin exit in one of the top exchanges here. So going into it,
And can you just, for me, because again, I don't know cryptos as well as I know FX and the indices. Can you just tell me what that means by 500 million Bitcoin exit leaves top exchange? Like, is somebody just pulling back to fiat currency, or are they moving it to a different exchange?
It's essentially they're just moving it around wallets. So people get, everybody always gets a little scared when money gets moved around, right? Especially large amounts like $500 million, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money. So, as the article says here, we can see that we all know that everything's public on the blockchain, so we can see all of it. So as trackers have seen, the first in the series of mystery withdrawals was a transfer of 2,999 Bitcoin worth 187 million from Huobi, which is a crypto exchange, to the address 1NBX1, which is Arkham Intelligence identified as a Poloniex account.
That's how that name is pronounced?
I probably mispronounced that, but that is another crypto exchange.
You're still working on the usernames too, right?
Yeah. The usernames, like I said, every day I'm sitting at home and just going through our users. We're almost at 20,000 now. I think we're at 19,000 about.
Yeah.
We every day I'm going through all those users, saying everybody's name. So make sure you win. So you have the privilege of having me butcher your name.
If one of y'all says some silly ass name.
But that was just one of many transfers that kind of sparked this $500 million movement.
So do we know anything about that person or intelligence? Is that some hedge fund? Is it like made up of small investors?
So it's a way. So it's one account that moved it from one account to another account. Of course, everything is unanimous. Nobody really knows who, but we can tell what accounts, what exchanges they were moved from.
Okay.
So they were moved from one exchange to another exchange, but we can't really tell who moved it.
Or
right?
why, I guess,
Or why.
too.
Yeah, we don't know why or who. The only time we can really tell is when governments move it, because those are typically public. I know Germany sold off a bunch of their Bitcoin a few months ago. That was huge news. I believe Ecuador bought a whole bunch more. There's a ton of countries in South America right now buying up Bitcoin. Those are all public because obviously they're a public government, so they have to announce what they're buying and selling.
It's really interesting that governments are getting involved in cryptocurrency. Like, all these governments have their own fiat currency. Like, why? What is the need for them to get involved into cryptocurrency, I guess?
I mean, I think it's just, I think it's just another store of wealth. And, just like how governments buy, different assets like gold, silver, palladium, they buy different solid or, physical assets, and they buy currencies. I know governments own or hold currencies from around the world just as a safety measure. So
Okay.
I think that's just another, safety measure. If we see something where a government like, trying to think, I forgot what would there's a government, is it Argentina, that has super hyperinflation right now. Venezuela. We see a government like that, Venezuela, super hyperinflation. If they're holding a large stockpile of Bitcoin or even gold or other assets like that, now they have they have a little bit more leverage in the market as a country.
Okay.
If their currency is leveled, flatlined, pretty much.
Maybe they should have raised interest rates sooner.
Yep. Too bad they don't have the
Giving away that
amazing
free
Federal
money.
Reserve Commission like we do. but yeah, so we saw the first move of Bitcoin here, and then we saw, of course, a line of a few more different transfers. We saw another transfer from Huobi that was 3,994 Bitcoin, nearly $250,000. Landed in the same address, so it landed in that same Paulo Nix account, and then another withdrawal of 2,150 Bitcoin, which is 135 million from Kraken. So that is withdrawing it to fiat currency. Okay. So yeah, my honest take on this, I wouldn't worry about it. I see news like this when I'm all over the crypto news and Forex news, and we see whales like this move their funds around all the time, take some funds out. Just like Germany sold, I think, half of their Bitcoin. People do that as well.
Okay. Yeah. I'm curious if, and I know this is sort of in the trend, but when there's uncertainty in the financial markets with like us lowering interest rates and causing that uncertainty now, I wonder if you'll see more flight to cryptocurrencies, similar to like you see flight to gold or other safe, haven assets.
Yeah.
I wonder if Bitcoin is going to become that sort of that new trend. And I know it's already started there, that a lot of people do use it for safety.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that trend will just continue as we move on and there's more uncertainty in the world.
Yeah, I mean, as we can see from this chart, another reason I think, and you've been an investor for a long time, so you know the game. But the core of every investor, the number one golden rule, what is it? Buy low, sell high. So another
That's some great insight right there.
Thank you. I just unlocked. I unlocked the secret to the game here.
You figured out the unicorn.
Yep.
You have the unicorn. Buy
$1 million.
low, sell high.
But on that point, fundamentally, that is at the core of every investor. That is how people make money. Or buy if you're doing a sell. It depends, but fundamentally, buy low, sell high. Yep. Right? And we've all seen a huge increase in the price of Bitcoin recently, so that could definitely be another big reason why that sell-off happened.
There's always new things on the horizon of Bullrush. We're always innovating and trying to advance the ball. We really are trying to be game changers.
We are the future.
We took a poll in a few of the channels that we have, and we have two features that we could launch right now. We have our challenges and we have our trading trivia competitions. And by an overwhelming majority, people wanted to see the challenges first. And so in the beginning of October, we're going to be launching those challenges. And again, they're not prop challenges. We don't do funded accounts. They are skilled-based challenges where they're a little bit different than what you traditionally see at a prop firm. Ours are, for example, the first one we're rolling out is have a profit factor above a certain amount and a win percent above a certain amount over 50 trade duration, and you'll win a prize. And so these are a lot of metrics that major hedge funds look for and other trading institutions, that when they're analyzing if they want to invest in a portfolio or they want to give their capital to somebody to trade, they're using these metrics. And so we're using the same thing here inside of Bullrush to really provide that gamified element to it and really help traders build or test their skills of real world, important things inside the market.
Nice. And how would those challenges, just if I've never seen it, I've never been to a prop firm, I've never had a prop firm account. Like I said, I'm in the crypto space more and stock space. How would the challenge work? What is a challenge?
Yeah, exactly. So a challenge is you testing your skills against the market. And again, for the one that I just outlined, for the profit factor, which is one of the unique ones that we're going to launch, which is the first, of its kind, is you have 50 trades. And over those 50 trades, you must achieve a profit factor metric of, let's say, 1.5 and a win percent of, let's say, greater than 50% to go past that challenge. And it'll cost, let's say, $5 to enter. And if you pass, you'll get $10. You get your $5 nice. That you paid and plus an additional $5. You basically double your money. And there's different levels and layers to it. So you can enter with more. It's not necessarily 5. You can do 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, etc. Nice. There's different sizes of it. But again, It is really to help traders more than anything, go test their skills to see how good of a trader they actually are against them versus the market. You know, we have the competitions where it's you versus other competitors in the space, and the objective right now is to have the highest win percent, where these are based on other factors like profit factor. You know, other ones will roll out, or like average RR and those things.
Nice.
And we do the money more than anything because it really makes people take it seriously. One thing I've learned throughout my almost 2 decades in the trading industry is that if you give people something for free and like a demo account or things like that, they don't take it seriously. Where if they put up just even a small amount, even $5, all of a sudden they start taking it really seriously, and they go and they trade it just like they would if they had, you know, $10,000 on the line.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why we have them paid, is just so that people really do take them seriously. And of course, like anything else, you get badges, you get your certificates, you get experience points in addition to the prize pool if you actually win one of those challenges or pass one of the challenges.
Nice.
Again, we don't offer funded accounts. I wanted to
Yeah.
say that and keep saying it because I know it keeps coming up.
I'll repeat myself.
Bullrush is not a prop firm. We don't intend to be a prop firm. The major difference is we don't offer funded accounts. We offer instant prizes if you pass one of the challenges or win one of our competitions.